whenever you're ready to
Hi,
start.
I'm Bruce Mallinson, the owner of Pittsburgh Power. We used to be a Marmon dealer back in the early 90s, and this is a 57P. And this truck has some history to it. It's 1986. Your father was the second owner, correct?
Yes.
Okay, this is Bill Muckle. His father was the second owner. They live out northeast of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And this truck was in the family. Bill used to weigh 340 pounds, and to give you the strength of a Marmon, Marmon uses on all the cab corners and the bump corners, it's all extruded Reynolds aluminum, and it's about an 1/8 inch thick. So it's actually a roll bar. You can roll these trucks over and they don't crush. Well, he used to be up on the roof of the cab in a bunk polishing the stacks and would never cave it in at 340 pounds. Well, it had a big cam 4, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it had a big cam 400 CPL 676. It now has a Cummins Reman N14, and it's in here, and we have it on a dyno. And JR, one of our electrical engineers, is working on it because the fan is staying on. Correct?
No, the ECM is not turning the fan on. There was a wiring issue, so we ran a new wire to the fan solenoid. Now my problem is that these things are designed to default with the fan on, so the ECM emits 12 volts to the solenoid, which is supposed to shut the fan off. But in our case, that's turning the fan on, one way or the other. But they're supposed to default on, and that way if the ECM can't put out the 12 volts, the fan comes on and stays on. That way you don't overheat.
The other thing about the Marmon, it was a hand-built truck out of Garland, Texas. So Marmon had the hoods made by a fiberglass company. They made the cab and they made the bunk and they drilled the frame rails, and they were the only company that actually drilled a frame rail. Everybody else punctures it, and they considered that a fractured hole where when you drill it, it's actually machining it. And they always use 3/8 thick or thicker frame rails. And everything in the truck, like the heating and air conditioning, was red dot. The actuators to open and close the windows and the doors were all the same people that PACCAR uses. So whenever we would need a part and we didn't want to wait for it to come out of Garland, Texas, we ran over to Kenworth and got the part. So if you do redo an old Marmon, you can get most of your parts at Kenworth and Peterbilt. So when Bill put the N14 in, it took him about 2 months to do the wiring, because keep in mind, this did not have a computer engine in it, it had a mechanical. He used a Peterbilt wiring harness. So Bill, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
It was pretty much a straightforward plug and play. Peterbilt, the wiring harness runs on like a closed loop. So all I had to do was find a room to fit it in. I transferred all the solenoids or the relays and the fuses out of the Peterbilt. I have the one down, or the relay down in the toolbox, and kept it pretty much all plug and play that way. I just go to Peterbilt for my switches and stuff.
What'd you do about, are the gauges still mechanical?
Them are. I did switch the tach and the speedometer over to electronic, and once again I used the same sending setups that Peterbilt used. That way it's all tied in that way.
So tell us, how long did your father have this truck?
We owned it, we bought it about 88 and we sold it in 94. And then I found it about 8 years ago.
And where was it?
Sitting on a car lot about 20 miles from the house in Ephrata, PA.
Oh, is that right?
Now, I actually drove it home. It was in one piece yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just a little history on the Marmon trucks.